Welcome everybody from McAllen. This is Meeting with the Mayor, and we're so lucky today to have Congressman Henry Cuellar, our congressman from District 28. Congressman, welcome.
Thank you so much, Mayor. It's always a pleasure being with you.
And so you were at the inauguration today.
Yes, I was lucky to be on the platform there with President Biden, and by luck, we're up there at the platform. So I got to see everything up close. And it was very exciting, Mayor, because look, in the past, you had a lot of people there sitting in the stands and then looking down the mall. This time, because of COVID-19 and the security, we had some people on the platform. And as I looked down the mall, instead of seeing thousands of people out there like we do in the past, because of the COVID-19, I saw hundreds of thousands of flags. And it was, in a way, it was sad not seeing the people there, but those flags symbolize urban, rural America, Texas, South Texas, the border, California, Arizona, everybody. So those flags meant a lot because it was more of a symbol of people being there in one way or the other.
It really showed the effect that COVID's had on our lifestyle for this last year. It was very striking, very patriotic. I really enjoyed the presentations. I thought the president's speech was right on.
Right, and this inauguration, if I follow you on this one, was different. Let me tell you the first thing, Mayor, just to give you an idea. So the first thing that I saw going in, there's a checkpoint. Checkpoint, you had Capitol Police, National Guard, automatic weapons. You had Border Patrol. You had high fences with barbed wire. And when I saw the Border Patrol, the high fences and the barbed wire, I thought it was back at the border itself. And so, you go in and you see National Guard at different places with automatic weapons. And then you have to do another health check, because I had to do 2 COVID tests, one COVID test in Laredo, and then one when I got up here. And you walk in, and it's just the high fence, the barbed wire, the security there. It was just so different. But even though the environment was different, just seeing this transition was so important to us. It was, we saw a little bit of snow, then we saw the sun come out. So we were seeing contrasts of weather, emotions of the past. As you know, Mayor, just think about the last 3 Wednesdays in Washington, D.C. 2 Wednesdays ago, we had the attack on the Capitol, violence, tear gas, people fighting, shouting at the same place where President Biden was at, and some of us happened to be at. Then the following Wednesday, we had the impeachment of President Trump, because again, you cannot have a president inside a crowd to come attack the Capitol. Then this Wednesday, today, what do we have? We have an inauguration. So I have to say, this last 3 Wednesdays have been the most interesting 3 Wednesdays in a row that I've had.
Yeah, and I thought the president's speech was right on from a standpoint of, let's put all this behind us. We're Americans first. I don't know about you, but I thought it was very moving.
Right, exactly. And one more thing I want to follow up on that. Think about, and I think it was my 5th inauguration I've been at. 5th. The last one under Bush, 2 under Obama, 1 under Trump, and then now under Biden. And, they're all, in many ways, they're similar, but this time, because of the COVID, the crisis of the pandemic, the crisis of the security, it was a little different, but in the same way, inside, you feel proud to be an American, proud to see this peaceful transition. And even though President Trump was not there, and quite honestly, the last time we have a current president that didn't attend was 152 years ago when Andrew Johnson didn't show up. They both had something in common. They were both impeached by the House of Representatives. So, I have to say, I'm glad that the Vice President Mike Pence was there, because you got to have that symbolism where you have a peaceful transition from a current president to the new president. And at least I'm glad that the Vice President, Mike Pence, was there today.
Well, in the way everything was going with the contest of the elections, I'm glad kind of whatever happened boiled up 2 weeks ago, because I don't think it would have been appropriate for protest when the inauguration, you know, so it's sad it was not a lot of people, but it was very, I'm glad it was peaceful.
Yes, yes. And to add to that, you know, when we've seen it, you know, you've seen inaugurations, I've seen inaugurations, we've heard the speeches. Usually a president will get up there and said, I promise I'm gonna do point number one, promise to do point number two, promise to do point three. Notice what he did today. It was very different. He didn't talk about politics. He didn't talk about specific policies. All he talked about was, you know, America has been challenged. America's divided. And how do we put everybody together again? And notice what he did. He says, look, I know that a lot of you didn't vote for me, but give me a chance. Look at my heart, look at my character, look at what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna work as hard for you, for the ones that didn't vote for him, as the ones that did vote for him. So his speech was more on uniting. And, you know, he talked about how difficult it was 2 weeks ago when the Capitol got attacked. But he gave us a point of reference. He said, we've had some difficult times that we've overcome. He talked about being under the Capitol dome. He says, the last time we had something like this, we were in the middle of a civil war, and the Capitol dome was being built. You know, as you know, you have the Capitol dome, and on top of that, you actually have two domes, a small one and then the big one. And he said there was still hope in the middle of a civil war that the country was going to survive, just like we survived. Today, we saw that our country survived. The message he sent to us, the Americans, was let's stay together, let's stay united. The message he sent out to the world was, hey, America's going to come back. We're going to be the leader. We're going to be your ally. So there was two messages, one to us, the main one, and then one to the rest of the world.
Now, you have a reputation for being a peacemaker, for reaching across the aisle, certainly represent the Democratic Party, but you're kind of one of those guys that does that. I think your leadership's going to be important. How are you going to approach the new session coming up?
Yes, and you know, he's got he and we, and I say we because all of us got to work together. You know, fight the epidemic. As you know, we got to get those vaccines out faster. The federal government, you know, we put a vaccine faster than any other time. Usually takes 5 to 10 years. This time we did it in less than a year. But when we sent the vaccines to the state, the federal government stopped there. I think what you're going to see as we put more money for COVID relief is get the federal government involved with the states, work with the cities and counties. And one of the things that under his proposal, which we support and we have supported, was to get monies out to the cities and the counties and the states, and not have to depend on the state or somebody else to get the monies, but directly to the cities and counties and states. And that's going to help us on that. But that vaccine rollout is going to be important. Then we can start talking about how do we open up the government, because we got the crisis of the pandemic and then we got this economic crisis. But if we defeat the pandemic first, then we can move into the second one, which is of course the economic one, which is so key for small businesses and individuals to get their jobs back.
You know, we've on the border been on the front line of the immigration issue from a standpoint of asylum seekers. And when the president said he's going to do immigration reform, that's what President Obama said that really started all the asylum seeking and the numbers that they were. You know, I think what's your feeling about that? And if you do immigration reform, you have to add more judges. You have to have a process that doesn't take years.
Yeah, yes, Mayor. And you know, he is going to be talking about immigration at the very, very beginning. Before there's any capital use on his presidency, he's going to go and start talking about immigration reform on the first day. Some by executive order, or some of it as a proposal to the Congress. First on the issue of dreamers. He can do some of that by executive order, help 800,000 Dreamers in DACA. But eventually we got to make sure we put it and codify it into law. So that's going to be part of a proposal where we not only look at Dreamers or guest worker plan, but we also have to look at the 11 or 12 million undocumented persons. You know, we got to not give them amnesty like President Reagan did back in 1986, but, you know, the good people that don't have criminal records and want to stay, want to work hard, give them a pathway to citizenship, which is key. So we'll be working on that. He also, today he'll be signing the, stopping the emergency order at the, you know, that deals with the wall. So he's going to send billions of dollars back to the military, to the forfeiture funds, to the counter narcotics, billions of dollars. And that should stop a large portion of the wall. And while he puts a pause on contracts, then we got to start looking at, you know, the other monies that have been appropriated so we can stop the building of the wall. We don't want open borders. We want law and order at the border. We want legal folks to come in the legal way, should I say. We don't want to see chaos at the border. So doing all this in the right way is going to be extremely beneficial to the border.
Now, I remember about 5 or 6 years ago, yourself and Senator Cornyn made several proposals on addressing immigration reform. Are you going to dust some of those off and see the president with you with Senator Cornyn and talk about it?
Yes, and the immigration is going to take a lot of work on behalf of all of us. So we got immigration. We'll be talking about other issues. I tell you, I've never seen a president, at least in my lifetime, come in with so many challenges. But I've always said leaders define in a time of crisis. And the way he sounded today and the way he was focused, I think he's, you know, in my opinion, he's going to be a very good leader. And I look forward working with him, you know, working with you, of course, Mayor, and certainly all of us. And as the president said, we got to unite together. We might have differences, but they got to stay civil. Enough of this, you know, yelling and shouting at each other, calling everybody names. You know, let's have civil disagreement, and then let's find a way how we can work together to find solutions to the practical problems that are facing all of us right now.
You know, I think the president kind of hinted about that today. It's very difficult for the average citizen to really tell what's going on in Washington because the news media is so divide. You don't get a really good analysis of what's happening. It's either terrible or it's great. And, you know, everybody knows it's somewhere in between most of the time. So I hope that gets addressed so you can find out what's really going on and what really are the policies of the parties.
Right. I mean, you're right about that. And, you know, you know, today's a good day. I'm excited about today. I am so happy that we had this transition, you know, a couple of weeks ago with the attack on the Capitol, trying to stop the certification of votes. Just seeing this transition that we see every 4 years, this was good news today. It really was. It was a beautiful day today.
Well, I appreciate it. I appreciate you spending time with us on such an important day, and I haven't seen you smile like this for a while, so that's good news and everything. I know it's been pretty tough being a congressman from the border. So we appreciate all you do for all of us, not only in your district, but certainly everybody from Brownsville to El Paso. You're one of the heroes.
Yes, sir. Well, it's a pleasure and an honor to serve the Valley. As you know, I'm served there with Congressman Vicente Gonzalez, Congressman Vela, myself, and we work together and we work hard for the Valley. So I look forward working with all of us and the new president. I'm really excited. We got a lot of challenges, but Mayor, you know, you and I have talked about you know, the challenges that face our community. But if you work hard, have the right focus, we can solve those problems.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for being with us today, Congressman. I appreciate you taking your time. Stay safe up there, okay?
Thank you so much. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
And that's been Congressman Cuellar, and this has been your meeting with the mayor.